Welcome back to another episode of All Things Everything presented by Gulf Coast Smoke. My name is Alonzo.
And I'm Sabrina.
And this is episode 87. How has your week been so far? We were supposed to do this on Monday, did we?
Nope.
We didn't do it on Monday.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Dude, I just, recently, I don't know what it is. I feel like we have plans for everything. We try and stay on schedule, ahead of schedule, and it has just been so hard recently. I feel like there is always something to do. One of the biggest blessings is having more products, more orders, but that just makes everything a little bit harder. Like there's always something to do for an order. There's always somewhere to go. There's always a package that needs to be packaged. There's always just something that we have to do, and it has been difficult to navigate through this year. I was actually thinking about this today. I had a lot of time to think today because while we were very busy at work, I just was thinking a lot to myself, like, what has changed this year? Because last year I feel like we hit the ground running. We were pushing content out super consistently. And this year it feels like, I've been failing a little bit. Like I haven't been able to get as much out as I wanted. I have some shorts that I literally need to edit right now. Haven't done the voiceovers, haven't anything. And it's like, what's the difference? I think the difference is we launched that new product and it's been a successful launch. And, then we try and get ready for, a barbecue competition, or we want to do this video. We want to do that video. We had some rain. We've had issues with hail. That was last year, but it's bled into this year, believe it or not. I still don't even have my truck. It's been wild. We're trying to get the trailer ready for competitions. I just found out today that I'm going to have to work. I'm not even going to be able to go to Smoking on the Rio, which is whatever. It is what it is, right? But I got to work on Friday. Anyway, we're not going to go too much into it, but it's just been a wild start to the year, and I'm hoping that we can settle in and really just put laser focus on making content and just doing the right thing when it comes to pushing the business forward, which I'm sure every business owner has kind of hit this. It doesn't even feel like a plateau at all. It just feels like we're stuck in a rut and we're trying to power through it. I know we will get through it, but it's just been a little bit more difficult than other parts of owning a business for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like even this week, for example, I haven't had a long form video to edit throughout the week.
Yeah,
So like I cooked lunch every single day. Normally when we're trying to push out videos, like me and the kids are picking up lunch, we're going to the office, we're packing orders while they eat, coming back, we're doing school, like it's just like rush. And then it's like, okay, well, I didn't have a video to edit throughout the week, so I'm cooking, I'm doing more, but it's like anytime you try to prioritize, and everything is important. That's the reality. Everything is important.
Yeah.
But it's like you try to swap something for something else, and yeah, sometimes things are easier without one thing.
Yeah.
But it's like the reality is they're all important. How do you get it all done?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the other thing too, right? Like we've openly spoken about it. We homeschool our kids, and we do things, a specific way here at our house. And so we want to make sure we have time for the kids. We have time to do things with them, and that's very important for us. But it's just been a struggle, right? But the reason we like to talk about these things, or at least I do, is just to let you guys know that, man, even though you guys see us on YouTube and it's social media and everything always seems so awesome, man, social media is not real. I mean, it's real. It's really what I'm cooking. It's really what we're doing. But this is the realest part of us that you will get to see and you will get to feel and hear. And, man, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we don't struggle sometimes with, different things. It just happens, right? It is what it is. That being said, that's enough of that. We do want to get into some recipes that we've recently made that were really, really good. And also, I think it's really cool. Today at work, our director he was showing me pictures. He made the pork steaks like we made it. He made the dip like we made it. And he made the pineapple upside down cake with the glaze.
Oh, really?
So really cool to see that people are actually out there recreating these things that we cook. And that's exactly why we're doing them. We always tell you guys that. So if you have any suggestions or any wishes, like a wish list, man, let us know. We will absolutely 100% do our best to try and make that for you. Yes, literally for you. Anybody that's listening, we will do our best. Can't always get to it, but we do jot things down, and if we think it's a really, really good idea, we put it on a list, and then we say, hey, we have to get to this eventually. There's a lot to do, but we have to get to this because it's important for us to get there. So let's start out with, what do you want to start out with?
Let's start out with the wings.
Okay. So we did a long form video last week on chicken wings. We thought it was going to be a really fun idea for us to actually put 6 different chicken wings against each other in a bracket and see if we couldn't figure out which chicken wing flavor was the best. Now, of course, this is very subjective because it was my opinion. Like, it was just my opinion in this. And Sabrina, actually, this was one of the times where I would say she had no say in it. Not like no say in it. That sounds horrible, but it's just the truth, right?
Yeah,
You didn't really have a say in this one. So I was tasting chicken wings. It's very, very specific to my flavor palette, and I was choosing which ones I liked best. But the real true reason behind the video was to show you guys 6 different wing flavors and just try and make it a little bit fun. So if you guys take anything from that video, just take the recipes. We tried to show you guys exact recipes, how we made these different types of wings. Have fun with it. So let's start off with, I guess we can just go through all the wing flavors. You guys will need to watch the video to see how we broke it down, how we put them in the bracket, and then, of course, what one. So let's talk about the wing flavors. Which one? Or let's just talk about all of them, I guess.
Yeah, first let's talk about, the way that we prepared these wings. Because
Sure.
I think this is actually you and I prefer a fried wing, a good fried wing. No breading, just
Yeah.
a good fried wing.
And honestly, I would, my 100% preferred wing would just be fry it. I mean, no smoke, no nothing.
Right, but I think when you do it on the pellet smoker, you're not getting too much smoke flavor, and it's doing most of the work for you, especially like we did a lot of wings. We did 60 wings, which is more than we would eat on a normal day, obviously. But if
Yeah.
you're doing it for a party, I think this is the most optimal way of preparing it, because you put those in the pellet smoker, you get them to around 180 degrees, make sure your oil is nice and hot. We did ours at 350, and then you're just going to flash fry them essentially for
2 minutes.
Yeah, they took minutes, and you just want to get them to that 200 range. But that's where they're going to get like really, really crispy and finish getting tender the way you want. Because I think wings are best when you get them around that 200 degree internal range.
I'm glad you brought that up because I did see a podcast clip of Malcolm and Rochelle, and they were talking about this on the How to Barbecue Right podcast. And, I'm going to be open and honest, and I think I even said it in a video recently. So we started taking our wings to that 200 and 205 degree temp because of Malcolm, because of How to Barbecue Right, watching those videos and learning as we go. And, he talks about it like you want that bone to be clean. You want that skin to pop and be fully rendered. So, yeah, at 165, yes, they are safe to eat. But there's a lot of fat under those chicken wings. You do want to make sure that you fully render that fat. And that happens around that 200, 205 mark. I mean, there's also a reason that when you go to a competition and you're making chicken wings, chicken legs, chicken thighs, you're pushing those past 205. Sometimes you're going to 210. Now, granted, you're obviously injecting those, so there's a lot of moisture in them, and you can push them a little further, but you do need to make sure that that fat is fully rendered, and it is very important. Your chicken wing 100% will be better if you take it to 200 and 205. If you don't believe me, believe the GOAT of YouTube barbecue, Malcolm Reed. He is the one that has said it for years, and he is who I learned from. So I just wanted to say that real quick. Because Sabrina brought it up, it is very important that you take your wings to that 205 mark.
Well, and I think there's a lot of proof in the hate that, that specific type of person gets, and we all know who it is. There's lots of memes on it where they're eating barely anything off that chicken wing, and a lot of the times, that's how I am. But I think the main problem for that is that those wings aren't being cooked enough, because a lot of people, when they're picky about chicken on the bone like that, and it's got those, those pieces that aren't very good if they're not rendered properly or cooked properly. And so they're only going to pick those certain portions. But if you cook it to that 200 to 205, it's really easy to get it off the bone, and then you're going to eat more of it. So
yeah, I mean, that's where you can literally put the wing in your mouth and like pop it out, and the two bones are fully clean. That's not going to happen at 165. It's going to happen closer to that 200 degree mark. So I definitely think that you guys should give it a chance if you never have. You're not going to overcook your wings, I promise, unless you take them to like 250, right? Of course, they'll probably be dry, but that is a perfect place to take those chicken wings, and I do think you're going to have great success. So like Sabrina said, that was our process for cooking these chicken wings. Now let's get into the flavors of them.
Yeah, so our first flavor was buffalo, just a traditional buffalo. But I think, buffalo can vary depending on how spicy or how mild you want it, and that all depends on how much butter you put in it. So we did about 2 tablespoons of butter and then some Killer Hogs hot sauce, which we just use our favorite hot sauce. You can use whichever hot sauce you prefer. But yeah, if you want it more on the mild side, you're going to want to add more butter to it. If you want it spicier, you're going to have less butter. Maybe just go straight hot sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And I think that Killer Hogs hot sauce, I love it so much. It's not very spicy at all. It has just a great vinegary, peppery flavor. If you guys need to kick any of those spices up, man, you can add crushed red pepper to kind of, hop it up a little bit. And I definitely think you can get something a little more spicy if you wanted to. But like Sabrina said, we just try to keep it really traditional with the buffalo chicken wing. And let's be real, it was incredible. All right, there was really nothing to it, but it's incredible. I love buffalo wings. I could eat them any day of the week. At one point I would say chicken wings was kind of like one of my more, I want to eat chicken wings like all the time. So I definitely am a huge fan of chicken wings for sure.
And kind of to backtrack a little bit, we did season all of these with that base when they went on the smoker because we wanted something that wasn't going to burn when it got in the fryer. If you're maybe going to smoke these and not fry them, I think Hospitality would be a really good option to pair with a buffalo wing.
Yep.
But yeah, buffalo's very classic. I think that's why it's one of the most, or probably the most popular chicken wing flavor. I mean, it's like the when you think of a buffalo wing or you think of chicken wing, you think of a buffalo wing, right? But that being said, I think we got into some really, really interesting, really delicious flavors. So let's go on to the next one, which was our Asian inspired.
Yeah, that one was also very simple. We have recently, you've always liked bachans. There was a time when I didn't really know if I liked it or not, but I do really enjoy bachan's Japanese barbecue. It's Japanese barbecue seasoning, right? And it's barbecue sauce. It's just so good. It does have that soy sauce flavor to it. It has a little bit of that umami that comes through. And then, of course, it's a little bit sweet. I like that it's really, really thin. So it actually kind of it has that soy sauce consistency pretty spot on, I would say. And then we just added some honey to it.
And that kind of helped to thicken it.
It helps thicken it. But the thing is, it's just so classic Asian flavor, in my opinion. And there was really nothing to that one as well, but it was just packed full of flavor. We tossed a little bit of sesame seeds and some green onions on top just for garnish. If you guys don't want to do that, you definitely don't need to. But I highly recommend, and this is not a sponsored thing, I highly recommend trying out the bachans because I do think it adds for a really incredible flavor on anything you're cooking.
Yeah, and I think with a lot of these more simplistic flavors, it all comes down to the quality of the sauce that you're using. Like Killer Hogs hot sauce is a really good hot sauce. And then you have the bachans, which is a really good quality Japanese barbecue sauce. And then getting into our barbecue style wing, we paired up 2 of our favorites.
And that's a really good point. I think the biggest thing with the barbecue sauce is we used our favorite barbecue sauce, which is Killer Hogs, the barbecue sauce. So incredible. Has a great flavor, has a great color, and it's just a down-the-road, really, really delicious sauce. We hyped it up a little bit with our cherry pineapple glaze, and man, we tossed it, and it was just so traditional but unreal. We've been getting so much good feedback with the cherry pineapple glaze, and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I don't know what the word is. I'm just so happy that you guys like it as much as we do because, this is, I've talked about it before. I'm not going to go too much into it. This is a recipe that Sabrina and I quite literally just poured our heart and souls into, and I'm just so happy that you guys like it. That being said, the traditional barbecue wing was incredible. I don't really even know what else to say, but we tried to keep all of these recipes pretty simple for you guys to follow along. And if you don't have the cherry pineapple glaze, that's okay. Just get the Killer Hogs, the barbecue sauce, and I promise you, it's still going to be great.
Yeah, and that Killer Hogs barbecue sauce can pretty much be found at Walmart,
Academy. I don't believe it's at H-E-B, but we should get it into H-E-B along with our products.
Yeah.
H-E-B, if you're listening, hit up us and How to Barbecue, right?
And so moving on to our next flavor, which I was shocked by this one because, when we try this flavor at, wing places or when you make it at home and people use the pre-bottled, it's not good. It's not appetizing to me. I don't like it. but we made this with fresh ingredients. And I mean, I'm with you. This, you even said it in the video. It's not typically your preferred flavor. It's not really something you gravitate towards. And same with me. But I was shocked. This was actually probably my favorite of the whole entire day.
So she's talking about the garlic parm wings. So we made our homemade garlic parm sauce, which you just got to watch the video to see how we did it. My problem with garlic parm wings a lot of the times is, and I won't say the restaurant, right, the chain, but you go to a chain, you get garlic parm wings. It's pretty darn good, but two things. I feel like it smells kind of like feet, and then when you eat so much of it, like you have garlic breath, and ugly garlic breath, like not a good garlic breath. I feel like it's just too much. Unfortunately, I just feel like it's too much. Now, I could probably eat like 2 of them, 3 of them, something like that, but I can't down a 10-piece, which if I'm sitting down eating wings, I want at least 10. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. So I was very, very, very shocked. I really was, with how good it was and with how much I liked it, because I did go into it with unfortunately, a bit of a bad mindset, thinking, man, I'm not really going to like these. I know how it makes me feel. But as soon as I took a bite of that garlic parm wing, I was blown away, truly blown away. And it was just one of those things where, you know, I don't want to give too much information on if it won the round or not, but maybe you can kind of tell with how highly I'm speaking of it. They were just so good. And the sauce was really, really easy to make. You just have to follow the instructions, and you're going to get a much better product than if you were to go to a store and buy something that's pre-made. That's coming from somebody that has a pre-made condiment in stores, but I definitely think that if you can do this homemade, it's the way to go.
Well, there's something about the bottled garlic Parmesan sauce. Anytime you have, I guess I'm trying to figure out what the word is for that base. It's almost like a jarred Alfredo sauce. I despise jarred Alfredo sauce. I like to make it homemade. And the thing is, it's so simple. Like an Alfredo sauce is just butter, cream. I make a little roux, but you use cream, Parmesan, season it. That's it. And the same thing with this homemade garlic parm sauce is it was butter, it was garlic, it was Parmesan, a little bit of oil, some seasoning. That's it. It's so much more like simplistic, but it's so much more delicious. And when you get these like pre-bottled sauces in the grocery stores, for example, it has this like almost fake cream sauce type of thing, which when you're getting a bottle of that's like room temp, it's like, what is this made out of, really? You know what I mean? So I think that's why I don't really like that flavor typically, because it tastes way too artificial. So I think it's a little bit different than like the glaze, for example. But yeah. Overall, the garlic parm wings were really, really good. I highly, highly recommend trying that homemade recipe. I think like I said, it's simple, easy to make, and it's really going to blow people away. Moving on to the next flavor, though, was our hot honey.
And the hot honey is another one that's just an incredible sauce. We talked about Bachan's. We talked about the barbecue sauce. This Melinda's hot honey, in my opinion, is so good. There's almost a little texture to it.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like there's a little bit of texture there. Like you can actually taste some of the chilies that make it that hot honey. And man, it really is just so, so good. It's darker than most hot honeys that you're going to find in the grocery store, at least from what I've seen. I really have found only a few of them in our local stores. So I really enjoy this Melinda's hot honey. I think it's definitely one of the best ones that you can get. And we kept it very simple. We just used hot honey, and those wings just turned out so good.
It really reminded me of, in a sense, the way some people might view our glaze as like sugar in a bottle, right? But it's not. If you actually pour that out, you can see the little specks, like the flavors, right? And with that Melinda's hot honey, if you pour it out, it's not what you would expect to see. There's like, you can see like real ingredients in there, which, I mean, I don't know what all is in hot honey in general. I imagine just honey and whatever makes it hot, right? So I don't have too many expectations of what a hot honey should be like, but it does feel like more of like a sauce, a glaze, like something more than what it is. And I think that's why it was so good.
There's definitely some viscosity there, and there's texture. I would say for sure there's some texture there, and I think it just makes for such a good hot honey. And then moving on, the next one is lemon pepper, right? Was there another one besides lemon pepper, or am I tripping?
No, that was the last one.
So the last one is lemon pepper. Now again, This seems like so simple. Something you just go to the store, you get a lemon pepper seasoning, you toss it over top, no big deal. And that's true. But what we like to do is add some butter, throw the lemon pepper in, and then squeeze a fresh lemon in there. It just makes for such a good bite. And I know it sounds so simple, but that extra lemon flavor, the actual juice of it in there, and then throwing that butter, it kind of wakens up and like hydrates those seasonings a little bit. Just makes for such a good bite, dude. Like, I can't get over how good that lemon pepper was. That and the garlic parm were very, 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 very good. They were all very, very good, but I just feel like the little bit that we did for the garlic parm and for the lemon pepper to go over the top really made a difference.
Yeah, and with a lot of lemon pepper seasonings, which I'm not going to name the brands, but there's some where you look at them and it's like bright yellow. And it just tastes like super artificial. It doesn't taste like a real lemon, right? So if you can find a good quality lemon pepper that at least looks like it's with real lemon zest, I mean, that's the good place to start.
Yeah.
But then I think once you add it with the butter and like a fresh squeeze of lemon, maybe a little lemon zest, it kind of turns it into something else completely. It makes it feel like you made it from scratch, which is something we typically love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it kind of, not that it takes a lot of work, but you got to zest everything. You got to dehydrate it.
Yeah.
And so if you can find,
and
like
we've
a
done
good
that
quality,
many times.
Yeah.
We know that it does turn out good, but you know, for us to actually go out and zest a lemon, and then we zested oranges, we've zested limes, added pepper, added salt, and just try to get the perfect mixture, it's definitely not easy. And, you know, it is better if you can find a really, really good product on the shelves. And I think that, you know, we've kind of hit on it a little bit today. And there are some really, really good products out there you guys just should pick up. And there's also things that I think you should do homemade. And I think that cooking can be a mixture of the two, 100%. Like, we actually plan on doing some, and I always ask you this, and I still don't know, is it char siu or char siu?
I thought it was char siu.
Or is it char siu-y?
I say char siu.
Char siu?
At least that's what I grew up hearing.
We plan on making some char siu ribs here really soon, and we are planning on using the little packet that comes from the Asian store. And we're just going to jazz that up a little bit, show you guys how to do that and make some really good ribs. So I think that there's just things that you can do with these products that come out of stores that can really, really, really elevate them for sure.
So what would you say your favorite wing flavor is to get if you go right now to Wingstop, for example, and you get wings? What are you getting?
Lemon pepper hot.
Right.
So I'm getting lemon pepper, the dry seasoning, and then tossed in hot buffalo sauce. That's my favorite way to eat them. I actually wanted to do that for the video. I don't really know why we didn't, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were going to get into more flavors. Like I know Cajun wing flavors, like a Cajun dry rub is very popular. They have Hawaiian style. It's usually, you know, your Asian wings are kind of broken up into like teriyaki. Then they have like the Hawaiian style. So we were going to get more in depth, but we really wanted to keep it simple with like, what are the most popular wing flavors that you think of right off the bat, right? But yeah, I think definitely combining. One of the things we like to do is to combine buffalo wings with barbecue. We do like a mixture of the sauces.
Yeah, it's like a little spicy, a little sweet, savory. Yeah. Really, really good flavor.
Yeah, or
like a spicy barbecue.
Yeah, or even with like the Asian wings, put a little hot sauce in those, make it like a spicy one. Yeah. So yeah, I think definitely mixing those. We're not saying that the 6 flavors we chose are the only flavors to do, right? Try mixing them up. I mean, make them the way that you want, but I think at the very core, like the basic recipes of them all, I think they were very good. Just really good quality wings, and I think if you prepare them the way we did, I mean, I think you can't go wrong.
I agree 100%, and I think that it is worth going to watch that video to see how it all played out. Again, the point of it was to give you guys some different recipes to try. Yes, they were classic, but we jazzed a few of them up a little bit, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos that we've been putting out lately. We have tried to put a very, very high emphasis on entertainment and editing. So the editing quality should be rising. The entertainment quality should be rising while we continue to do traditional barbecue items, teach you guys a little bit about things, and then, of course, just give you guys a really, really good place to come and watch some videos. So hopefully you guys are enjoying them. Let's move on real quick. We have a lot of questions today that we wanted to get into, so we're just going to talk quickly about some beef ribs, and then that should be it, right?
Yeah.
So we did some beef back ribs here this past weekend that really, really, really just came out so good. If you guys don't know what beef back ribs are, they're actually the ribs that come off of the bottom side of the ribeye. So if you guys like see a bone-in ribeye, the actual part of the bones that goes under the ribeye itself, that's where these bones come from. Like if you see a prime rib, a bone-in prime rib, you cut those bones off, that makes these beef back ribs. So even though they're tender, they're never going to be quite as tender as like plate ribs, big dino ribs, but they still turn out so tender and they turn out so delicious, and it's just such an easy cook. What do you think about these types of ribs?
These are actually some of my favorite. And so Chance and Danielle stopped by, and they actually were able to try some. And Chance kind of described it perfectly. They're bigger than those little short ribs, but they have almost that flavor of a dino rib, but it's not as much. A dino rib, what's the actual name for that? The plate rib? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one is just, it's huge. They're super marbled, super fatty most of the time, and so they can be very rich. Just a little too much than what you want. So I think those are like the perfect like halfway rib. I think they're really, really good, and usually you can find them pretty cheap. Where did you get those ones?
I actually got them from Tuttle's Meat Market, and really, really cool story about those. Well, I don't know about cool, but I guess the fun fact is Cody did tell me that these ribs actually came off of prime ribs, and they were prime grade. So really, really good. They were inexpensive. If I'm not mistaken, what did I spend, like $22?
I think that's what you said, yeah.
I think it was like $20-something on them. And, man, the thing about beef back ribs, and we kind of talked about it a second ago, is just the flavor that you get off of them.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I actually do prefer the beef back ribs over any other style of beef ribs personally. I think that there's enough meat there. Sometimes you do end up losing a lot of that meat throughout the smoke, but, it just kind of is what it is on those.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it like that, but, I mean, you can't really have your cake and eat it too.
I know. What do you expect? There's not a whole lot of meat on there.
There's not a whole lot of meat on it. Sometimes you lose a lot, but, man, it is just a really, really good bite. And we had plenty of meat on these, so I was really, really happy with the racks that we got. Well, the rack that we got. And the cook on it was just so simple. So I got my Outlaw Ringo to 300 degrees. I threw a post oak chunk in there, got some smoke rolling, and then just let them go. I literally let the smoke hit them, didn't do anything, didn't spritz, nothing. I let the smoke hit them for about 2.5 to 3 hours, and they were done.
Yeah.
They were probe tender. They were around 205, 206 degrees. They felt good. I got them off. I rested them for an hour, and then I sliced right into them, and they were just money. We did a short form video on this that you guys should go check out if you get the chance, because I do think that these beef ribs were really good. And if you guys get the opportunity and if you find some beef back ribs, you 100% need to try them.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to start if you are intimidated by cooking plate ribs. Start with the beef back rib. I think it's a good halfway rib to start with. They taste really good, and like you said, they're really easy to make.
So as I mentioned earlier, we have unfortunately not done as many recipes as we've wanted to recently. So that's about all that we have to talk about. But last week, we actually asked if there was any topics or questions that anyone had. We have a bunch of them, so let's get right into them. And we'll start with Mitch Heath, who says, I know you are in a warmer climate than us Wisconsin folks, but with recent nasty weather sweeping the country, cold weather cooking is always a topic of discussion this time of year. Yeah, we don't have too much cold weather. I will say that I'm a huge fan of pho. I love eating pho at our local Houdat. If you guys are in the area, you need to go try Houdat. It is my favorite restaurant probably of all time. I'm a huge fan of pho, so if I do have cold weather around me, I'm pretty much going for pho. I do also love chili. Question, beans or no beans? I do love chili, and then I do like when Sabrina makes a really, really good baked potato soup, and then also we just like chicken soup as well. So just really, I'm just going for soups, I guess. We haven't done an over-the-top chili recipe, which we've been needing to do, but it's like not cold right now. I mean, it was cold last week, but it's not cold right now, so not really sure how that's going to go. We should have done more recipes, but the other thing is where we live here in South Texas, once it gets cold, like you cannot find anything for soup or chili or anything.
Yeah.
You almost have to have this stuff before it's cold, like, oh, it's going to be cold in 3 weeks. Let me get this stuff for chili right now.
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to do a little bit better at. But yeah, it just I would say that chili is a big one for us, or pho. I like pho, and I've actually been wanting to try my take on brisket pho, but yeah, we haven't really gotten to it yet.
Especially when we had our freeze, and I'm doing air quotes.
Oh, it got cold. I mean, it got
did
cold,
get
cold.
pretty cold, right? And so we really didn't want to go outside and cook anything. But if we did, we kept things to like, low and slow cooks where we could just leave it out there for the most part and come check it in a little bit. Like we didn't want to grill anything. I think one of my favorite things, which this isn't necessarily a cold weather thing, it's something that's made all year round in our family. But like the way your mom makes that like braised brisket, which we do have a recipe for that. And when did we do it on the Weber kettle, or was that the?
We did
pellet?
that. Yeah, we did that on the kettle because then we put it in the Dutch oven, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on the kettle for sure.
That's a really good option for the cold weathers. I think so.
I really enjoy that brisket so much. It's actually something that I quite often ask my mom to make on my birthday. I don't know why. That's been something that I've asked her for, I believe, maybe the past couple of years, but I do enjoy that. So if you guys find that video, or maybe we'll link it in the description, it's also a really, really good recipe to try in cold weather, for sure.
Our next question is from Manuel Orozco, and he says, if there was only one barbecue piece of meat that y'all had to eat the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
That's a really hard question because only one for the rest of my life?
Well, in our family, I don't know if this counts as barbecue. It's more of a grilled thing, but we'd have to choose steak or else our kids would go feral.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not counting that. So, man, maybe, gosh, this could be controversial, but maybe country style pork ribs or pork steak.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Or, dude, I don't know, turkey breast. Turkey breast is so hard to beat. It's just so hard to beat. I'll go with turkey breast because I feel like that's something that I could eat. I mean, and I have done it before. I could eat all the time. And I really want to start just doing turkey breasts every week. At one turkey breast recipe per week, I think we should always do. So this weekend, we're doing a turkey breast. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely thinking country style ribs. I like those a lot. But also, and I know chicken would probably be nobody's answer, but I also like a really good smoked chicken where it's like falling apart. But I don't know if I could eat that the rest of my life. So yeah, mine would probably have to be a country style rib because I think that can go with anything. We've had it with like pico de gallo, or you can have it with mashed potatoes.
That's
like
actually
macaroni.
a good idea. We should make some this weekend and throw pico de gallo over it with some avocado or something.
Yeah.
And Terry Gardner says, when's the first Gulf Coast Smoke Facebook group meetup and where? That's a question that I've never even considered in my brain at all. I don't even know.
I know, like how many people would want to come.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? You know, it's one of those things. I think every time you go to do something like this, you just have no idea if it's even going to work or not, how many people are actually going to come. So I don't know. I guess we can put feelers out there, and if people actually wanted to do something like that, we could do something. But it would, just because I do feel, I mean, I think it would have to be around here, around where we live.
It'd have to be in Texas.
It'd have to be here in Texas, somewhere we live. But yeah, I mean, something to think about and something to discuss for sure, Terry.
Bobby Barto says sauce ratios. So don't really know exactly what he means by sauce ratios, or like if this is a competition question. But I will say, as far as sauce like consistency, we do like more of a thinner sauce most of the time. Or the only time I like a thicker sauce is if we're doing like classic barbecue chicken, right? But for the most part, we usually like to pair good barbecue sauce with something that helps thin it out, and that's kind of where our glaze comes into play.
Sauce ratios, I'll say this much. Use the barbecue sauce with our glaze, and you're going to be good for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think so. Other really good barbecue sauces, Chicken Fried Barbecue has a great sauce. LC Barbecue has a great sauce. Rio Valley Meats has a great sauce. I've mixed all those with our glazes as well. So, yeah, just try. Again, really, really, I'm not sure what you were looking for with that question, Bobby. If you want to discuss that more, man, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. We can gladly talk about it. I just want to make sure I'm not too sure what you were asking there, brother. Arturo Gonzalez Jr. says, are you coming to Smoking on the Rio in Mercedes? Want to meet you and the fam. Last time I was in Portland, we missed each other. Unfortunately, so there's a few unfortunates here. Unfortunately, I already paid for a spot. Unfortunately, I already paid for a porta potty. And unfortunately, we can no longer go.
We already trimmed the brisket.
We already trimmed a brisket. We actually started filming a video to go to Smoking on the Rio. And it is just not going to work out for us. I mean, duty calls. I don't know what else to say. It just is what it is. I was pretty upset for a few hours, like really upset, but I have to calm myself down and just realize that sometimes things just happen and you got to do what you got to do. So we are unfortunately not going to be able to go this year. Best of luck to everybody going. Really sad that we can't go, but we do plan on going to a competition this month.
Donald Smith says, have you ever made smoked beef summer sausage? We haven't made summer sausage, but I will say we've made homemade sausage, and it's been a really, really long time, and we never put the video out.
It's been a really long time since we've made homemade smoked sausage. We made a really good pepperoni pizza sausage that I was just so in love with, and we need to do that again. It sounds like we need to do that again, but no, Donald, we have not done that. Jose Mario Chavito Castillo says, best meats for Super Bowl cooks. Man, I'm a huge fan of finger foods.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like chicken wings, the little smokies, meatballs, queso, stuff like that. I think that's definitely right up my alley.
Yeah, but if you want to like barbecue something for a big game day, I mean, I feel like brisket is not the play, because you're gonna be doing a lot of work and a lot of prep leading up to that. So I would go with like quicker cooks, like ribs or something.
Most definitely.
Jonathan Burnett says, we all know you're the pit master, but can you speak on how much Sabrina's culinary background has helped shape GCS's recipes and flavors in the competition circuit, as well as your commercial success?
I think that Sabrina, when we first met, she was the one that was really into cooking. And you've mentioned this before. You actually wanted to do something in cooking your whole life. Like you used to watch Chopped.
You wanted to be an Iron
Chef. So this has always been something that Sabrina was really, really passionate about. In the small amount of competitions that we have done, because in reality, when you actually sit back and think about it, we haven't done that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had spurts where we were going a lot, but we really haven't done that much. But I would say that her culinary experience didn't really help us specifically with competition. I would say that it helped us a lot just figuring out how to cook. And then like just little things, right? Like, so I will say I had no idea what a roux was, what a bechamel was. Sabrina taught me a lot about cutting techniques or what you want to do here, what you want to do there. There's a lot of times when I lean on her for, hey, how do we want to rest this, or what's the best way to do this or that? And we've really become a great team. I think that her culinary experience this is just coming from my point of view. She can talk on it as well, obviously. But I think it helped me just become a better cook in general. Like I feel more confident that if somebody tells me, hey, go make macaroni and cheese, I feel confident doing that more so now than ever in my entire life. And I think just having those cooking skills in general really helps you continue to be successful in barbecue. That's why I'm not saying that I fully think like, oh, we could just go any weekend to a competition and win. I mean, I do believe that, but I think that just knowing how to cook, cooking a lot in general, and understanding textures, it is really, really important for becoming a good cook. Again, I don't even like the pitmaster word. I don't consider myself a pitmaster. I am a guy that likes to barbecue. I am a guy that likes to grill, and I like to do it in my backyard more than anything. And I've said this a lot recently. I feel like Sabrina and I are building a media company. We are trying to promote our seasonings to the world, and we understand that we can do that through social media and marketing. But I love creating videos. Kind of back to the question, though. I think that her culinary experience has just helped us become better cooks, which in turn has helped us everywhere else.
Well, the irony, and I say this all the time, I don't think I became a better cook until you got into barbecue, because then I learned a lot more about internal temperatures and everything. As far as competing, I don't really think I helped. You have a really good palate. So I don't think there's anything I helped flavor-wise, taste-wise, when it came to our decisions on what recipes we were going to run. Obviously, we both taste things, and we both put our input in what's good, what's not. I think actually more of like my cake decorating side helps in competition more than anything when it comes to boxing.
For sure.
But that would be it. But yeah, I think there's things that with both of us knowing how to cook, we're able to create good recipes, create good seasonings, create good products. So it's not just like one sole person. It's definitely always a team effort anytime we're creating any product or any recipe. But yeah, like I said, you have a pretty good palate, a good taste for things. So it's definitely not me.
Well, I mean, I think that it's more us than anything. I really do. I will say it like this. I 100% do believe that I could cook a whole I can cook a whole contest by myself without question. And I think that the food is going to taste exactly the same as if Sabrina was there or not. But that's not to say that it's not very important for her to be there, because in the end she helps me make those final decisions on, hey, I do agree, I think I have a pretty good palate, but I do always ask for everyone's opinion. Hey, what do you think? Like, let's not just go based off of what I think. I want you guys to feel that wow factor when you bite that rib or that chicken or whatever it is. And yeah, I think that is very, very detrimental. And it's not even only that. It's Sabrina does all the hard things when it comes to competition to help me do all the hard things my own way, right? So like, I'm cooking everything. While I'm cooking everything, man, she's cleaning up. She's helping me out. She's getting sauces hot. She knows when I want these things done. She knows that, hey, he's got to inject chicken soon. Let me pull that chicken out because right now he's spinning ribs or he's flipping ribs or he's doing whatever. So that's where it's really important. And I would say that has nothing to do with culinary experiences.
Yeah.
I think it's just knowing what to do, when to do it is the most important thing that we get from each other.
Yeah, we're both really big believers in either one of us could go and do anything, like pick a field and we can excel at it and that's not an overconfidence thing. That's just, we're both very hardworking. We're both determined. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to be a freaking master chef, you could, I know it and I believe it. Right. So it's just, I don't think it's very much, just because of culinary experience or anything. I think we're hardworking and we're willing to continue to learn about food, about cooking, to make things, most of these guys who are out there with really successful restaurants, for example, they're successful because they add a good culinary aspect to it, right? So you and I are just both the type where we love barbecue, but we also love food in general. So we take any opportunity to learn about food.
Yep, that's no doubt. I agree with you 100%. East Street Barbecue Company says, Ringo update, please. The Ringo's incredible. It's incredible.
Those
I love that
ribs were
drum.
on it, yeah.
I love that drum. It gives such incredible color and flavor. If you don't have a Ringo, you need to go get one. On to the next question.
Jordan Harwell says, what's a good backyard warmer to rest your barbecue in, and what does the 13 mean on your necklace?
A good backyard warmer would be your Yeti cooler. If you don't want to go buy a Cambro, I think Cambro is the best. But if you don't want to do that, go put a towel in your Yeti cooler so you don't make a huge mess. Throw your meats in there, let them rest. It's insulated, and it's going to do a great job. The 13 on my necklace is my mom's favorite number is 13 because my mom and my dad got married on the 13th. And it's my mom's favorite number. So in turn, it became my favorite number for every sport that I played growing up. And that's it.
It's funny. We actually, you talked to me about possibly investing in like an electric food warmer. And at the time,
I actually wanted to do it. I wanted to create a series based off of how much better an electric warmer can make your backyard barbecue. And you shot me down.
Yeah. Well, my curiosity was, is this what backyard people are willing to go out and buy for themselves to make their backyard barbecue better? So definitely let us know in the comments. Is that something as a backyard cook that you would invest in? Because it's just a matter of, do backyard people actually want to use this? Comp people, even though we can't use that in competitions, a lot of comp people are more open to these different devices, right? But most backyard cooks, a lot of the times they're going to be very traditional, very old school, and so they're going to look down on that. But I think we'd be surprised to know that there's a lot of people who are maybe open to using new devices like that in their in their cooking arsenal.
Yeah. Raul Villanueva says you should come to try some barbecue out in California. Heritage Barbecue and Moo's Craft Barbecue, they were voted the best outside of Texas by Texas Monthly. Side note, do you ever get tired of cooking BBQ? Say when you're home, what's your go-to meal? I do not get tired of cooking barbecue personally because, and I've talked about this a lot, I think there's so much you could do with barbecue to make it not boring. It's just like cooking inside, except for you're cooking over charcoal or fire or whatever. So I do not get tired of barbecue at all. And a go-to meal at home, I guess one of our most eaten meals at the house is steak. We love eating steak here at the house, so we eat steak. We like broccoli. Then I like cheesy cauliflower rice with it, or mashed potatoes, or a baked potato with grilled corn. So yeah, I mean, steak would be a big one for me. And coming out to California would be awesome. We are hoping to do more cool things like that in the future as the channel continues to grow. Most definitely looking to do more of that. So just stay tuned.
Now, and I wonder, where is Heritage Barbecue and Moo's Craft Barbecue? Because from, like, my dad lives in California, and from what I know is trying to find like briskets and stuff is very hard. So I wonder what kind of barbecue that they're cooking, if it's going to be like a traditional barbecue like Texas, or if it's going to be something different, the same way like if you go to Memphis, it's a different type of barbecue. But yeah, we'd definitely be down to try.
Yeah.
Xavier Gonzalez says, on comp ribs, are you taking them past 210?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess you just have to find out.
I bet if you dig down deep in the videos.
If you dig down deep enough into the videos, you will find out, I promise.
Yeah.
Zachary Jennings says, what's the main things that truly makes the difference between backyard competitions and sanctioned events? Might be a good one with the season starting to start. I do not do very many backyard events, backyard competitions, and sanctioned events. I think with sanctioned events, I think the biggest difference is going to be that these judges are kind of given a criteria on how to judge you. And with the backyard events, I don't think they really are. We've thrown a few backyard events that were not fully backyard. We did try and explain to them what they're looking for, but I think that would probably be the biggest thing. Now, if you're talking about like a KCBS backyard versus like a Masters event, I really don't have too much information on that, only because we do not cook those. But I would say that the biggest thing would be the criteria that the judges are actually given, and that being one of the things that makes it a little bit harder for a sanctioned event for a guy to just go in and win, because you are trying to think about that criteria as you're cooking, as you're putting food out there, and you just never really know what the judge wants anyway.
Waiting in the Smoke says, competition chicken, drums versus thighs.
Well, I would say thighs because we've never done drums.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't have any information on drums at all, but I would say if I was to do drums, I would just do them the same exact way that I do thighs. I would just keep it simple on that for sure. Doug Peterson says, did you enjoy being on the Pit Life Barbecue podcast? Yes, I did. I always enjoy opportunities to get in front of people and talk about what we do. So thank you to those guys for having us on for sure.
Kevin Strahan says, just ordered 2 bottles of your glaze. What have you glazed with it? What's something out of the box that the glaze can be used on that would surprise someone?
I mean, I would say the pineapple upside down cake was pretty surprising because we wanted to prove that it was just good in so many different ways. We've also had a lot of people recently that are using it as a mixed drink enhancer, like a simple syrup. Mm-hmm. So a few things that you could try there. Thank you, by the way, for trying the glaze and buying the glaze. I'm sure you're going to love it, and we really appreciate your support. But I would say that the cherry pineapple upside down cake was probably the more like, oh, wow, that's unique.
Yeah,
I think that would be the one.
I think the most unexpected thing, I guess, that we recently had it on was we had lumpia, and we used it as like a sweet and sour sauce, which it worked perfectly. And, we've already talked about already how like your dad, even my dad, like they all want us to use it on, like, you said your dad wants it on like shrimp, right? Like sweet and sour shrimp. And my dad was saying the same thing, like, man, this kind of reminds me of like a good sweet and sour sauce, right? So we used it on some lumpia the other day. It was really good. I mean, I thought it was like the perfect pairing for it.
Sure.
So yeah, try it out as a sweet and sour sauce substitute.
And then Tess Tuttle, shout out to Tess, shout out to the Tuttles in general. She actually put on her story the other day, she was like, this stuff has me in a chokehold. And it was our cherry pineapple glaze, and she used what did she make? She made some sort of the egg rolls over there at Tuttle's. I don't remember exactly which egg roll she made, but she was like dipping it in the glaze, and she was like, this stuff is so good. So shout out Tess. But most definitely it's very good for a dip, for your egg rolls, for your lumpia, anything like that. Aaron Casey says, cold weather cooking, any new glazes in the future, comps you're competing in for the year? Any new glazes in the future? Absolutely. Cold weather cooking, we talked a little bit about that earlier, so we won't go too much into that. Thank you for the question, though. But new glazes in the future, yes. I mean, we have one ready to rock and roll right now. We're actually kind of in the phase of testing it, battle testing it a little bit more, and that's all I'm going to say. And competitions that we're competing in this year, so we were supposed to go to one in a few days that we're unfortunately not going to be able to go to, but we do have one lined up at the end of the month here where we are going to challenge ourselves to only using one pellet grill. Now, this is something Sabrina and I have been talking about a lot lately, where we're going to start going to competitions specifically to challenge ourselves. We have a few ideas. We're not going to let them be known right now, but we have a few really good ideas that I think that they'll make for really entertaining videos. The goal is to win every single time, and that never changes. But we're trying to challenge ourselves. I've been watching a lot of watch videos lately. I like watching this one guy. His name is Vukum, and he gives himself a challenge. And his challenge is to reach up to a $100,000 budget. Anyway, he gives himself challenges. So we want to start giving ourselves challenges when we go to these contests. Make it a little bit harder, but prove to people, hopefully, that you can get into competition barbecue with maybe not the most expensive meat and maybe not all of the products in the world. Just throwing that out there. But anyway, just be on the lookout. We will definitely be doing some competition content soon.
Yeah, and usually if you follow us on Facebook, you'll hear which ones we're going to or getting ready to go to. At Home Barbecue says, talk about what, when, and why you got into barbecue. Love hearing everybody's stories.
Yeah, most definitely something that we get asked a lot. And I always say it very simply, growing up, we really looked forward to having Dad barbecue in the backyard. Barbecue for us was grilled everything, beans, rice, pico de gallo, maybe a few other things. You know, we had some beef ribs, pork ribs. We had sausage, fajitas, whatever Dad wanted to throw on the grill. And that just made for a really, really good time, and we always looked forward to it. And then moving forward in my life, I met Sabrina. We worked at a local grocery store called H-E-B, and we would get discounted groceries, and we would get H-E-B perks. So anytime we had a perk that was anything related to cooking, her and I would go to her house, and we would cook. We did so many, and I mean so many chicken wings, so many links of sausage, because those were very inexpensive for us to buy, and we had no money. We still have no money, but, but it was just a really, really cool time to bond with each other, bond with my now brother and sister-in-law. At the time, they were just dating, but Sam and Nathan, we would spend a lot of time together, us four, and it was just a lot of fun. And so when we bought our house almost 9 years ago now, or just about 9 years ago now, that's crazy to even think about. We've been in this house for 9 years. That's crazy, actually. That blows my mind. So when we bought our house about 9 years ago, we instantly got a pit in the backyard thanks to my dad. He gave me a housewarming gift, which was an offset smoker. From that, I bought a Weber kettle on my own, and then I bought a Rectech on my own, and it was just game over from there. I watched the Malcolm Reed video, How to Barbecue Right. We're talking spare ribs. Today we're talking spare ribs, and I'll never forget it. I ordered the seasonings online. I had to make them exactly the way he made them, and I was hooked from there. And yeah, I don't know. I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah, we get a little obsessive about our hobbies.
Yes, unfortunately we do.
Matthew Smith says steak toppers. Ooh, I mean, first of all, I think you can't go wrong with a good compound butter.
Compound butter, A1 steak sauce butter. I'm not talking about just the sauce. A1 steak sauce butter is something that we found at the store, and we love that stuff. So a really, really, a good compound butter mixed with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce sitting on top of your steak is incredible. So chimichurri, any sort of compound butter. We made a chimichurri compound butter that was incredible as well. And I think that would probably be my choices.
I usually avocado. And if we're doing
Avocado's fire,
cheesy
yeah.
cauliflower rice, I get a bite of that. with
Hey,
avocado
and you know
and the
what?
soup.
I'll openly admit it. I like A1 sauce. Sorry. I like A1 sauce. Now, that being said, I put like the lightest little layer ever, but I do like A1 sauce. So it is what it is. I do. I really do. And last but not least, Aaron Lohman says, if you're going to a Super Bowl party and had to bring a dish to impress, what are you bringing? I'm probably bringing our jalapeno popper dip, which goes perfect for a party. There's a video for it. You guys need to go watch. It's just a deconstructed jalapeno popper, and you use what do we use? The wheat thins? Oh, and I love wheat thins. And you use the wheat thins, and you just make sure that there's plenty because a lot of people are really going to love it. What about you?
Shoot, that or the buffalo chicken dip or
the
queso.
buffalo chicken dip. Oh my gosh.
A good queso, you can't go wrong.
We need to just do a video on the buffalo chicken dip because it really is that good. It really is. I love that stuff. But yeah, so that's all the questions that we had for today. And we appreciate all of you guys asking questions. If you ever have any, you can ask them in the comments here. We'll read them and we will ask them and we will answer them on the next podcast. But if there's no more questions, Sabrina, do you have anything else for today?
No, I think I'm good.
I don't have anything either. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go to Smoking on the Rio. It's okay. Onward and upward. We will film content instead. And if Sabrina has nothing to say, I'm completely good. So we appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do it right now. It's a really, really easy way to support what we're doing, help us get a little bit closer to that goal of 100,000 subscribers. We're about 15,000 away. Also, if you guys know of anybody who likes to listen to podcasts, maybe they want to listen to us talk about everything. I don't know. Just share this with them. Maybe they'll enjoy it. We appreciate you guys. And that should be good. So you guys will see us and or hear us on the next episode. Peace.